So, hello, my dark lights. Again, it's me, Miss Eclectic. So, my black lights, my blue lights and brown lights and blah 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 lights, my upside down lights and inside out lights, and my Christmas lights and Halloween lights and Hanukkah lights and dirty knots and lights and everything. And yes, I'm fucking on one. I love it. Yes. Okay. So, did you know that you're magical? You are. Oh my God. I love you for it too. Okay. So let me just kind of explain real quick. I know I've done magic. I've done quite a lot of things. I've studied energy work, and quite honestly, all of it is kind of the same thing. So your DNA, from the moment that you were born and you were conceived, you were like a bunch of cells. Once your cells developed into systems like a heart and a brain and everything, you became what I consider awareness. And from there, as you just developed and everything, you became a being. And then by the time you came out, you were developed, or whenever you came out, you were developed. And yeah, so like the blood that goes through you and everything came from like your mother and everything and stuff. So things like, there's so much to explain. Like the dantian is our umbilical cord. Amazing shit. So, when it comes to your magic, there's a reason why we are magnetic. Magnetic is magic. It's the essence of being alive. So in your DNA, just by being you, you are a magical creature, period, because you are alive, because you conduct energy, and that ability to vibrate and to create things and to exist is magic unto its own. So every life is magical because they vibrate and they have DNA and they have that electricity to them. And yeah, so when you're sitting down and you're considering things like, when it comes to your health and stuff, your mind has a certain vibration that can affect your body. When you're sitting there and you're dealing with people who are mean and angry and stuff to you, you can also pick up on that energy because it's like magic. So if someone is really, really, really pissed off at you, they can create, in a sense, a spell just from being that mean and angry at you. That's why there are things like the evil eye. So if someone is sitting there and they're jealous and they're looking at you, that creates, in a sense, a magical like spell or curse against you out of jealousy. Even if the person doesn't intend to or not, it is just because of your behavior and the energy that you are putting out that will create a curse. Just like if you sit down and you're just like, wow, that person's so nice and I like them and I wish and this and that, and you're thinking positive, that is creating a blessing for someone in their life. Even just thinking positively about someone creates a blessing. So everything that you think of and everything that you say and do creates energy, which is, in a sense, just magic. So like when you're sitting there and you're like putting a hot pocket in a fucking microwave and it's like ding, in a sense that is also considered magic, but it's not like, and it is, because what is it? Like you take a cold ass hot pocket, you put it in there, it vibrates and it creates heat and friction, and then all of a sudden it's a miracle the shit is cooked and then you can eat it. It's so simple, and yet it's once you understand how simple it is, then it starts becoming complex, because then you have certain forms of magical aspects, people, Satanism, root work, stuff like that, that starts getting into using magic, and they start utilizing stuff like your DNA. So that's one thing I know, like, people really aren't too aware, but yeah, like, your DNA, by sharing your DNA with other people, in a sense, you're sharing your magic with other people. That's why there's such things as STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, but there are also spiritually transmitted demons. So yeah, it's a demon in a sense, like it's negative energy for whatever shenanigans that you're doing, and it comes out in a physical form as a transmitted disease, but it is kind of, in a sense, just negative energies just coming out in a different way. So pretty much like anything and everything that you do in life is of a certain vibration, and so it creates a certain aspect as far as your life and condition. So when your blood is flowing, you're basically a conduit. And since you are a conduit, you are magnetic. That's why your pH balance, you have to make sure your pH balance is within like that 7.5 mark, because then that means that you are healthy in yourself internally. Then that means that you can turn around and you can manifest and you can create things. You can go after your life. You don't feel sluggish. You won't end up having diseases. You won't end up having like nasty, gross things happening. And so, magically speaking, as long as you keep up on your health and everything, you can turn around and pursue things that you want to do. But you have to also make sure that you're taking care of your mind and your heart and your body and your digestion and everything like that, because you are a complete system. It's not just on one scale. You are an energy being, because your heart beats, your blood flows, and it's magnetic. Your blood is magnetic. Your blood conducts like it conducts energy. And so that's just like when they had this test, and the test was like the guy took a cup of glass, and in one he like shouted at it, put it in the freezer, and the other one he like told sweet nothings, and it was just love and beauty, and he put it in the freezer too. And when they went back and looked into it, the one that was all like negative energy was thrown at it, came out, it was gunky, it was nasty underneath the microscope. Whereas the other cup that had all types of love thrown at it came out beautiful, crystalline, precious. Like you would drink that water like That's why before you do stuff, even like something as simple as like taking a drink of water, you just tell your water, hey, I love you, love me back, let's turn around and let's shine. Like it's just, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's phooey, but try it. I mean, the fuck, what do you got to lose, you know? I mean, in a sense, it's when you sit down and when you kind of create in your mind like a blockage where you're just like, no, that stuff doesn't work, you kind of try to make sure that you're running away from anything even developing. And it's a lot easier to kind of just have an open mind and to test it out before you even like try to knock it out. So in a sense, kind of start experimenting with it first. And then if you do and you don't see anything and you're like, my life isn't that magical and whatever, then yeah, then you could chalk it up and do what you do, because you're just in that kind of a vibration where you just won't allow that shit to do whatever. It's all within the mind, but some people just don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. Eventually, down the road, humans are kind of developing right now. The world is evolving and developing as well, so we're going to have to catch up. So our DNA is going to start activating a lot more, because the frequency and the vibration of the earth changing as well is going to change us. And so things that we all thought that we weren't able to do, like us empaths are kind of the ones that are going to help the rest of you momos, because you guys have just been kind of dead, and it's just because of not knowing any better. And eventually you'll end up to a point where you'll start seeing miracles happening like on a day basis, and you'll be like, what the but we're all X-Men in this mug, and shit's just about to elevate, that's all. So I hope that kind of explains a little bit. It's not as frou-frou as you think. It's actually scientific. Magic is scientific. That's why it's called alchemy. And it's so easy to kind of comprehend. It's just, once you sit down and figure it out, then you're just like, oh, that's really what it is? Yeah, that's all it is. It's not that hard. All right. Take care, everybody.